Well. Introducing, interviewing, Constellation number 2. Missy D Interviews Constellation. Hi everyone, we're back with a special edition Constellation. So, if you're joining me, you're wondering, who am I? I'm Missy D. I use she and her pronouns. I'm a hip hop rap and soul artist based on the land of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam peoples. I want to take the time to acknowledge the people that we are on the land of. I'm a settler. I want you to think about the land that you're joining me from. For me, these episodes are a moment to talk with other folks, to be in community. You know, the pandemic has affected us in different ways. But, take this time to reflect, to chill, to get to know people that are creating, that are community builders, that are just making change, movement, sounds. And I just hope that it gets you today from one screen to another, to the speaker, to however you listen to this today. So, for today, I don't want to talk a lot because you've heard enough about me. I want to talk about the people that are joining me today, which is these wonderful faces. I said the constellation. What is the constellation? I went on the website the other day and did a little bit of research for my own good and said something about like this. It said, the constellation is a collective bringing together a group of local event organizers to help bring musicians and fan alike more of what they want to see. If you love live music and want to meet some fine people who are making it, the Constellation wants to meet you. Like it beautifully states on Locals Lounge website with a quote from Naomi Murakawa, why be a star when you can be a constellation? Right? So let's meet some of the wonderful performers who will be illuminating the stage at Guilt & Co. on Wednesday, April 13th, with Locals Lounge presents Cassidy Waring, Cold Water Road, and Tess Anderson. So, how y'all doing today?
Good.
the echoey good. Before we get started, I know I mentioned some names, so let's get to know some faces to it. Cassidy Waring, who are you, or what would you like the people to know about you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Cassidy Waring. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Vancouver. I have been here for about 9 years, but I'm from Alberta originally. And I'm a musician, an actor, a writer, and then wear kind of a bunch of different other hats, depending on what's going on in my life. Yeah.
Well, awesome meeting you. Thanks for joining Missy D.
Thank you so much for having me.
Patrick Spencer, I said Coldwater Road, but who are you, Patrick? Or who is Coldwater Road?
Hello, Missy and Tess and Cassidy and everyone else who's watching. My name is Patrick. I use he and him pronouns. I'm lifetime Vancouverite, which these days I don't meet too many people who are from here. And a lot like Cassidy, I wear many hats, and I wear hats most of the time. And my hats include songwriter and singer. I'm an actor as well when I can. But my main other hustle, I work at a school as the transportation coordinator. I've been a school bus driver for years, and just recently I work as kind of organizing their transportation, and I do a lot of other things in the school. I literally float around classroom to classroom with my guitar, singing songs for kids. And as that's been happening more and more, I've taken my project that we started in 2012, Coldwater Road, which is kind of a folk rock, folk storytelling music project. And now I've started into an all ages music project as well, which is not officially launched, but I've written a bunch of songs for kids, and I'm just totally digging it. I love performing with and for kids because they're so they're so open to expressing like how they're feeling in that moment without judgment, and that's very refreshing in a time when it has not been very refreshing for the past 2 years. So that's a lot about me.
I love it, and we can't wait to hear more about you. Missy D interviews Patrick Spencer from Coldwater Road. Tess Anderson, who are you?
Okay, well, I'm Tess Anderson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a singer, a songwriter, a musician. I'm a music coach. I teach all sorts of ages music. I'm teaching way more instruments now than I even can say that I comfortably play, but teaching anyways. I'm a mom. I have a 4-year-old boy. Yeah, that's me. Lots of music. I guess I do some production and engineering as well, but mostly an artist, I would say.
Well, nice to meet you. Missy D interviews Tess Anderson. Thank you everyone for joining Missy D's Constellation number 2. I'm excited to get to know you. I know I dropped that question, who are you? And it's like, you got 2 minutes to answer. I was like, that's a little unfair. But I figured Missy D interviews is like, hey, I'm gonna ask you some random questions, and hopefully by the end of this conversation with one another, we get to know a little bit more about each other, or about you three. I know I'm an artist myself, and sometimes you run into people in the green room, or whatever the green room looks like. Sometimes it's the back of where they stash and their other things. Hey, I don't really know much about that person, but we're playing the same gig. So I found that this space is a little bit of, hey, let's get to know that person a little bit more. Let's get to know what they're about. So I'm gonna start with round 1. What's up and what's new? So, Patrick mentioned working on this children music project. So I'm curious to know, and it's also a check-in question, like, how are you doing today? And what have you been up to? So I'm gonna start us off with, let's go opposite. Let's go Tess. What have you been?
Okay. What's new? Lots. I feel like lots is new. I released an EP last year that was very pop singer-songwriter, and that's kind of what I have been doing up till this point. But I'm currently in the middle of a giant shift from kind of solo pop singer-songwriter to playing in an alt-rock band. It's still like my solo project. It's still Tess Anderson, but I have a band now, and we're in the studio changing everything. And I have never been more excited about music in my entire life. It feels like I'm actually doing what I should be now, where I'm a piano player primarily. So I learned how to write music on the piano, and I accompanied myself on the piano. And so I fell into this trap of thinking that was all I was capable of doing, was piano ballads, despite loving alt rock my entire life and wishing I was cool enough to play alt rock.
You are.
Yeah. And then we booked an opening slot for Mother Mother at the Commodore Ballroom in December. And I put a band together to do that show. And we were like, well, we need to appeal to Mother Mother's audience. And so it kind of gave me permission to kind of change some of my songs a little more alternative to just appeal to that audience. And yeah, as soon as we started playing, we were like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And they're all invested in the project, and we've got a whole bunch of full band shows booked, and I'm super stoked now.
That's amazing. I was telling you before we pressed record, I was like watching this was one video where it had like a zoom in effect and you're on the piano, and I'm like, what? Now there's like a whole other band. It's a whole different sound.
Yeah, completely.
I'm excited and looking forward to hearing more of that, or even attending the show, which is on April 13th. This is where I plug it in and be like, oh, man, come through, come watch. Will you have the full band at the show?
Yeah, we're gonna have the full band.
Awesome.
Well,
Where are you in your band planning? Are you hitting the roads? Are you taking off like out of town to play some shows?
We're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just kind of want to make sure that restrictions are going to
Yeah.
let that happen before I go ahead and book a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Do all that work. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's super exciting.
Thank you.
Playing with a band is fun.
Yes.
Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Like-
Tell me more, Patrick.
Will the project be called Tess Anderson?
Yeah. So it's just shifting the type of music. I'm kind of terrified because people have this expectation of what they think my music is now. And it's probably going to freak some people out in the next couple months, but it's okay. I'm excited.
That's great.
We're ready for it.
Yeah. And you'll always have your other music as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I still love piano ballads.
Yeah. Yeah, we were up to a 5-piece band at one point. Like, we've been around for 10 years now, which I can't believe. But about 5 years ago, and for a few years, we were up to a 5-piece. And I looked forward to Sunday rehearsals so much. Like, it's just my favorite thing. Like, it's, for me, it's akin to like going to church and like getting surrounded by people who we kind of just share this outlet that we can communicate together with. And I just looked forward to it so much. And we're not us as the band right now is there's 2 of us running the band, and we play with other people when needed. And we're going to have a few players with us at Gilton Company, but I do miss that full band vibe. It's always so much fun, but it's difficult too. I know how difficult it is to lead and to manage a band. I'm not a good manager. I know that.
Bands are pros and cons, but I agree with you. It's that family that found you or you found them. I don't know what happens there.
Yeah.
To get us going, because you're talking a little bit, Patrick, I'm like curious, like what's new for you?
New right now. The kids thing is definitely new because we're currently recording. We've had 2 sessions in the studio. We're working over at Park Sound Studio with Dan Ponick, because we just find those sessions so easy breezy and just so much fun. It's very low pressure for us over there for whatever reason, and which I think is just really helpful. Charlie, my bandmate, and I just go over there, and we always have a little bit of a plan, but we're always open to kind of just anything. And Dan throws in lots of ideas. And so we've been doing 2 or 3 sessions a month, and we've got one coming up on Thursday. And we're finishing off a small factor grant that we got last year for Coldwater Road with some of that time. And in the time that we had there, we've just finished our next album, which we started about 4 years ago. And one thing led to another, led to COVID. And so we canned a few of the songs, and we went back into the studio and wrote 4 more and recorded them over the last year. And so that's very new. I keep kind of forgetting about that, but that's very new and very exciting. We haven't released an album or an EP in a long time, since 2016. So
I was listening to it today, and let the people know, like I like to quote my friend Francis Arvalo, who says, goodness takes time, gardeners grow slowly. So, whether that's 4 years, whether that's 4 minutes, we're excited to listen to some new music from Water Road. I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm curious to know, Cassidy, what's new, what's up for you?
Oh yeah, it's kind of been a blend of things since I got back to town. I spent most of the pandemic from the beginning of 2020 just until October of 2021 on Main Island, on the Gulf Islands there, spending a lot of time being very, very isolated and taking it easy and doing a lot of writing, a lot of therapy, which was, horrible and great and amazing and all those different things. So I've kind of come out of it. I released my first full-length album, finally as well. That's how it feels, finally, in November, this past November 2021. So I'm still kind of working on some releases for that, some music videos and stuff coming out soon. And then I've just been like, I've just got a whole new batch of songs and feel like I have a whole new album kind of ready to record. So kind of trying to
Nice.
figure out what that looks like. And then I've also come out of the pandemic finishing up a certification in something a little different, which is something called EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. I don't know if anyone has heard of this, but it kind of combines acupressure, like tapping acupressure points, with talking through and going through emotions, and helps regulate your nervous system and process and release stress, tension, anxiety, trauma, limiting beliefs, anything really that you're trying to work on. So yeah, I'm almost finished that up. So kind of figuring out how that will fit into my life. And I've also worked a lot in schools. I've worked a lot with teenagers in particular through in different ways, through acting and improv, but also just working as support and help in schools and alternative schools. So I'm kind of hoping to use my certification to build some programs to work with kids and teenagers with stress management and things like that, and possibly weave in some creative outlet stuff as well. So I'm kind of working on both of those things at the same time and trying to find a balance. And that's kind of been my everyday lately.
Love to
We'll see
hear
how
it.
it goes.
Hey, this is when I plug in like applauses and, you know, crowd that goes,
That's-
hey, for all
I,
this music you're creating.
That's super cool. I think you're going to be a powerhouse in that realm with your love of music, and that sounds like really interesting work that you're certifying yourself for.
Well, yeah, I
That's
mean,
cool.
I came to it as a client, the work at the beginning of the pandemic, and then just fell so in love with it and how it helped transform my life that I really wanted to learn how to facilitate, even if I didn't end up doing much with the certification, but it feels like I will. So yeah, just kind of figuring out what that looks like and powering through.
No doubt. I think it's a really, really good time for that personally, because I know I've witnessed like a lot of strange stress things popping up with kids just because of the last 2 years. That's so unprecedented, and like, and global politics right now, like add another thing to the pile for them to worry about. And like, it's just unbelievable because they particularly have, I don't know about the kids that you work with, but all of ours have these stupid cell phones, and they're constantly on them, and they're constantly aware of everything that's going on, just like we are. And I think stress management is going to be a huge tool for kids going forward. So I commend that work. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more. I'm excited to see how you like weave it in a performance and a show, and sort of even allowing for moments like that within the show, where, you know, you're coming for the music, and there's other layers that you kind of unravel with. I think that I want to attend that show. I don't know if people can.
It's funny, all my
Yeah.
bands at my shows in this new year has turned into like me sharing about my personal like therapy sessions, and like getting in all of my like trauma and my narratives and coping strategies, and it makes for really hilarious, incredible, like heartwarming conversations afterwards and during. But yeah, it's interesting how it's forming. We'll see
Hey,
how they weave together.
see, we're getting to know each other a little bit more. Now I know Tess, you know, switching from the piano to some out rock. Patrick is not only the best transport coordinator out of school, but also working on a children's music album. Cassidy, you know, interweaving some EFT practices and healing practices with your newest record. I'm going to take us back into time a little bit, which is round two. Round two, I kind of named my rounds after songs I really like. So this round is called Through the Wire. You might know a rapper called Kanye West. He sampled this artist named Shaka Khan, and she's got this song and goes, through the wire, through the limit, to the wall. She sings it beautifully. You should check it out. This is when I plug in people to check out if people don't know who Shaka Khan is. Through the Wire is an activity I sometimes play with students as well. And I like to play with my friends. I'm going to give you a random year. I know I'm asking you to go back into time. It's a long time ago. You don't remember where you were, but it's okay. Think about who you want to give a shout out to maybe from that year. maybe a funny story, maybe something you'd like to share, how you discovered that year. Sometimes you don't like the year, so you can say like, yo, Missy, pass. And I'll another year. So that's okay too. And yeah, we're gonna go through time a little bit. So I'm gonna start us off. Let's go to Patrick this time. Patrick, the year I'm gonna give you, and it's different for everybody, so you can prepare yourself for maybe you might not know. Your year is gonna be, and I don't know people's ages, so I apologize if this is not within range. But Patrick,
I'm older than you think, so you probably have a lot of years to pick from.
that's you know what? Thank you for saying that. I was like,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can go back. You can go way back.
well, you know, I like the sound of this year, so I'm gonna go to this year.
Okay.
What are you doing? What was Patrick doing in 1999?
Oh, good year, Missy.
Yes.
Patrick Spencer was graduating high school in '99.
What?
Which was, I honestly, yeah, like what? So, and Patrick Spencer was happily graduating high school because Patrick Spencer didn't really like high school. Honestly, I struggle with having confidence to this day, but back then I had no confidence. I was really insecure about myself, about my physical self. I had friends, like I wasn't in a terrible place. There wasn't much to high school that I was hanging on to. And I was very happy to move on. Although, albeit in the first couple of years, I didn't really move on that much. Like I attended UBC. I lived over on the North Shore. That's where I went to high school. And then I went to UBC. But in that first year, this was still 1999. In that first year, I was carpooling. I was living at home and carpooling to UBC with a bunch of people from high school. So it really didn't feel much different, to be honest. I wasn't hanging around on campus long. We were just getting in the car and driving back home every day. And so first year was rough, especially in a first year chemistry class. It was my birthday. And my friend stood up in like a lecture hall of like 200. And she's like, it's just, hey, everyone, it's Patrick's birthday today. And so I don't know if they sung me happy birthday or not, but everyone's like, oh, are you going out? You going out to the bar? And I'm like, no, I'm just turned 18.
Oh, I love it.
So 99. I was so worried about that question because I don't really remember chronology that well, but 99 is an easy one.
Now we know where you were at, and you know, look at you now.
Yeah.
I like this. Well, let's go back into time a little bit. I'm gonna ask Tess. Tess, we're gonna go to 2009. So 10 years later, you know, while Patrick was in high school. 10 years later, 2009. What was Tess doing in
9. I'm a baby, so I think I was in middle school in 2009. Yes.
Me too.
Great time, middle school for everybody. It's
Interesting time. Do you have
yes.
any highlights? Any stood out
Middle
to you during that
school
time?
would have been me starting to perform for the first time. My mom actually sent me a video a couple days ago. This probably actually would have been 2009 or like really close by of what is the name of the song? Like 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton or whatever, you know? Yeah, that one. Me playing that in like my 7th grade talent show. And it made me want to die. I'm like, no, why did I do that?
I love.
Do we have this? Do you have that video?
I'll see if I can find it.
I would like to see it.
It's so funny. And actually, I remember I actually had auditioned with a different song, but it had a really simple piano part. And like 3 days before the talent show, I was like, I need to show off that I can play the piano better than this song. So I went and learned that song because it had a more complicated piano part. Nice. And I didn't know the song was gonna be as funny as it is now. But
Great
Yes.
track. I love that.
It's that one.
Yes.
yeah,
So good.
I had fun. Now it makes me cringe, but that is what I did. That was my debut in front of my middle school.
Nice.
The debut of Tess Anderson. That's what Carlton. We want that footage. If not, one day at our show, do an alternative rock version of that song.
Actually, I kid you not. I was at a rehearsal today and my guitar player like opened up his phone to Instagram and that song was in the background of one of these videos. I'm like, Dylan, we need to do a cover of this.
Please do that.
I'm just saying. Why not?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Good times.
2009. Hey, I like it. You threw me back as well. I was like, where was I? I was listening to that song. But I'm gonna go back to maybe a couple of years ago and get to know Cassidy a bit more. 10 years later, after, if my math does me right, 2009 plus 10, that's 2019. Cassidy, what were you doing in 2019?
What was I doing? 2019. Oh, I knew this was going to be hard for me. Okay, so it's right before the pandemic. This should be easy, right? I was playing a lot of full band shows. And I think that, so like for the fall of 2019, I started playing with a full band more and more. And then I think it was January 2020 where I think it was a Music BC showcase, and I played a full band show, and I was like, yeah, this is solid, we're gonna keep going. And then I think I've played all solo shows since. That's not a very interesting story of 2019.
Don't judge.
What were you gonna say, Patrick? Sorry.
I said, don't judge. Don't
Yeah,
judge how interesting your story is.
I was supposed to say, I was like, I'm interested. I had to follow
myself.
I was like, will there be a full band? Will this be the first time you're with a full band for the Guilt & Co show, or are you performing?
No, I'm not planning on playing with a full band with the Guilt & Co show, but I am planning on kind of trying to get it together again this year. But it's kind of actually been a nice little blessing to kind of go back to just like writing mode and writing new songs. And my live shows lately have just kind of found a kind of a home, and just like even more of like a really personal confessional type space, which I'm really enjoying playing with, and I'm really enjoying how that's feeling and what that relationship with the audience feels like. So I'm gonna keep working on that a little bit. And sometimes I have a guitar player, and that's kind of as big as we get is a duo right now. But that is, that can always change. But end of 2019 was very much like kind of playing more of those full band shows and exploring more of my rock belty side. I have a musical theater background. I do not have like a folk, like it's funny because I grew up in Alberta. I grew up in Calgary, and I did not have a folky country twang at all. I was very musical theater. I did musical theater children's tours in schools for years before I moved out to Vancouver. And then I moved out to Vancouver and started singing with like a country folk twang once I left Alberta. Yeah. But it was kind of fun in 2019 to explore more of putting down an instrument and just kind of being the front person, just using my voice and seeing what that allowed me to feel in my body and how that allowed me to feel on stage. And so I am really excited to kind of go back into that again and find that persona again and kind of feel where that sits. But maybe a little bit later in the year when I can plan for some of those bigger shows. Yeah.
I'm excited to see both. I think, there's power in just, one voice or a full band or a sound, an instrument. I think that's the beauty of music. So I'm excited to see all variations of your set.
It feels different, hey? Like there's ups and there's plus sides to both kind of performances. Different feeling,
I-
different vibe.
Totally. Accessibility to the audience, I find, like when you're solo,
Yeah.
when you're doing like low key kind of solo things, I just give myself more permission to make it more interactive. Whereas when I'm playing with a band or even with just one person, we're much more doing our own thing when there's more than me.
Yeah.
I find. I don't know if you're the same way.
I feel
but-
exactly the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this show. Once again, April 13th at Guilt & Co. Come watch. I'll put a link somewhere, on this page, on these faces that you see. I'm gonna go to round 3 because time moves by fast when you're talking to wonderful people, and I'm like, wow, I got 3 more rounds. So let's go to round 3. It's called That Thing, That Thing, That Thing. Yes. So I love me some Lauryn Hill. We can
Put up
talk.
your hand if that album is on your phone right now. It's on my phone.
It is on your phone.
Oh yeah, that's that one never leaves.
I love. Well, it is on my phone, I guess. Yeah, it's on my streaming platform. Yeah.
Yep.
True. You're right. I was like, is it on my phone? I am a big fan. But we're not just going to talk about that thing, except if you want to talk about that thing and, Tinder and all these different platforms that people use. But I want to ask you some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Some fun facts about you. So about that thing that you do when you wake up or whatsoever. So I'm going to start with a warm up. It's going to be rapid fire. Each person's going to get to answer. So my first rapid fire that thing question is, what's one thing you do every day? I'm gonna start us off with Tess.
I don't know why the first thing that popped in my head was brush my teeth, but that is what
Shout out to your dentist.
Yes.
got put on the spot. I'm like, I do that every day.
That's important.
I do vocal warm-ups every day. Exercise my voice. That's a little more interesting. I would hope most people brush their teeth every day, so I don't think that's that interesting.
Do you have a go-to
But I
vocal
do.
riff or like a thing you do?
Right now I'm working through a program from Carolyn Quinn. She has an online kind of community called Roar. She's an amazing vocal coach, but it's like a subscription service to these daily vocal programs. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out.
So good.
Patrick, what's one thing you do every day?
I get down on the ground and stretch with my dog and like have a face-to-face, like just a check-in. At least, I mean, it happens several times a day, but at least once a day, like get down there and we both do downward dog and he comes over kind of to me. It's a bit of a ritual. Yeah. Usually one of the first things we do in the morning, as long as I've put his food on and getting it ready, then he'll do that.
There's an agreement there. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's nice. Cassidy, what's one thing you do every day?
Well, I share custody of my dog with my ex. So when I have my dog, I do something like that. So good stretching with your dog, isn't it? It's just the best.
The best.
It's the best. You just can't even take it for granted. Like there's no way. Just
I want to do it right now. He's not in here.
Man, I know this is a lame answer, but like I drink coffee every day, and what I try to do is I really love making like a good fresh cup of coffee in the morning, but what I usually do is I have a coffee maker and I set it the night before with a timer. So the coffee like percolating and the coffee machine turning on is what wakes me up in the morning usually. And it's just right there ready for me. So it helps me get out of bed and just start my day.
I need to know the name of that coffee maker. I need that.
I mean, it is not a fancy one. This is like one of your cheap coffee makers.
That's my kind of coffee maker too. I'm like, I don't want too fancy.
fancy coffee.
If it comes on time, yeah, I'm down. I'm down to.
I don't discriminate with my coffee. Like I love a fancy coffee, but I'll take a real plain cup of coffee any day.
A drip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a drip.
If the drip is made before you're waking up, then I'll take a drip.
I'll take a drip. Exactly. I was like,
Really
That's amazing.
That's sweet. Okay. So now I know what y'all do every day almost. Brushing teeth was important, so thank you for confirming that.
And I don't mind sharing a microphone now. If we share microphones at the gig, we're safe. So that's good. Thank you, Tess. I also brush my teeth every day.
Ah, perfect.
I'm sure there's a lot of things you do every day. I'm gonna ask you another rapid fire question here. Ooh, okay. And I switched it up from last episode, so I'm curious to know what's one thing you would do if you weren't an artist? So I'm gonna switch up the order now. Cassidy, what's one thing you would do if you weren't an artist?
Okay, well, I'm not gonna go with my EFT healer type of a answer because I feel like that's not that exciting. When I was a kid, I always had this tier, this like 1, 2, 3. Like I had it written down in a list of like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be an actor, a singer, a dolphin trainer.
Nice.
Yes.
And like I know nothing about dolphins or the ocean really. It was purely a pipe dream. But I'd like to think that maybe if I didn't become a performer from a very young age, maybe I would have gotten into marine biology or became a dolphin trainer. Maybe. Who knows? I don't really feel like I have the brain for it, but you know.
I think it was on my list too. I'm sure it was on my list of like, hey, this looks great. I don't know what they do, but if I'm swimming with dolphins, that's count me in.
I thought it looked like the most magical thing. Like I just wanted to know a dolphin, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick, what's one thing you would do if you were an artist?
I want to learn how to drive an excavator. Wait, can you see it? It doesn't really show up. You know, a digger, like a big construction piece of equipment that scoops dirt and moves it. I still honestly might. Like when I'm trying to convince my partner to move out of Vancouver one day soon into a smaller town, and I'll still do music and just base it out of there. But I really want to learn how to like drive big machinery. I love driving things, and I want to learn how to drive like a big excavator.
You know what? That's why I love this question, because I'm just like, something I never thought of. But now that you say it, I'm like, you know what? I feel like that could be fun.
It'd be super fun. It's like playing a video game. You got these two little joysticks and your foot pedals, and you're moving this massive piece of like earth moving, monster. I just think it would be fun.
Hey, there we go. You know, I'm learning. Yeah. I'm taking notes, guys. I'm taking notes. Tess, what's one thing you would do if you weren't an artist?
I used to really want to be a pilot. I really, really like airplanes and think that will be super awesome. One year for Christmas, my mom bought me, it was like a fly along thing at a fly school. This was me and a pilot in a tiny little airplane, and then part of the trip I got to fly the airplane, and it was so cool. That's what I would do. Fly airplane.
That makes my I get nervous when I think of that, because I agree with you. I think that would be so cool. A little nerve-wracking for me though. I like being on the ground, but I think I'm with you on that one. And I like that you chose driving something, because that counts. Driving things is cool.
I agree. I love driving.
I love it. It counts. It counts in Patrick's dream because you're driving something. But I'm like, okay, flying. That would be amazing. Except a lot of responsibility. I feel like there's just too many people's lives but they do it. They do it well. So shout out to all the pilots out there.
Shout out.
We
If
love
they
you,
ever
we
watch
respect
this,
you.
if they're watching Missy D Interviews Constellation, you know, if they want to come to a show at Guilt and Co, we can get you in. Let us.
Yeah, Locals Lounge supports pilots.
Exactly. Exactly. I wonder what Ian's gonna say to that, but yes, I think so. I'm gonna switch it up with our last rapid fire here, because you're performing soon. What's one thing you do before and after performance? Before and after performance. So let's go. Let's go with Tess.
Ooh, before every performance, I like obsessively do vocal warm-ups, like sing for an hour straight before I start performing. Yeah, I like a very well warmed up voice. And I feel like it takes away some of the nerves if like I have been singing like almost right up till the point that I'm going on stage. I feel better that way. After, I don't know. I like get on this high afterwards for a little while and I'm like, ah, and then a big crash. That's what happens afterwards.
Yep.
An adrenaline crash. Yeah.
I feel that. Cassidy, what do you do before and after performance?
I'm one of those people, I usually don't schedule any other major commitments on show days unless, like, if I can avoid it, because I usually want to spend the whole day being just extremely anxious about it, because time just doesn't matter on those days to me, and I feel like I'm constantly running out of it. So I basically just a big ball of anxiety practicing on and off and stressing about things until I go on stage. And I'd like to get better at that. And then after, I just really want to talk with everybody there. Like I just want to have all the deep conversations. I want everyone to tell me their stories, and I just want to get into it. And then inevitably a crash later on that evening as well.
Hey, you're holding space for yourself during that day. Hopefully, you know, some best practices are put in place as well. But sounds like a before and after that I'm familiar with. Is yours different, Patrick?
I'll keep this one simple. Before, especially if it's a show that's like a self-promoted show or like a big show that kind of makes me nervous, and I get nervous for most shows, which I really like. But if it's a big show, a band show, I'll have a beer before and after.
I like it. I like
Especially if I'm sick. I don't really like it. I don't really need to. I don't like performing that late. Like I have my better energy is earlier in the night. And so generally speaking, I won't avoid the headlining spots, like if they come up, but I like to play earlier in the evening. And then I like to get it done and enjoy the other artists. And that's so, I guess also before and after, I think the middle spot is perfect. And that's just a coincidence that that's where we are this time around too.
I wonder.
Patrick,
So before and after, I'm going to be watching some great artists perform.
I love the strategy. It's amazing. I agree with you. It's nice to get to watch people perform, and then you feel less stressed. You're not like I have to go next. So I can relate with that too. This is cool. It's nice to. I'm always curious to know what people do before and after when I get to talk to other creatives. I got 2 more rounds, getting close to our time together here. But this next round is my favorite round. I told you I was listening to your music this afternoon, basking in the sounds, the timbre of your voices, the videos, the visuals. And then I was like, I wonder who inspired them. So I have this round called I Am Made of Stars, Stars, Stars. If you're wondering who sings that song, they go by the name of Kimortal. They're a great artist based on the land of Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh Muslim peoples. Check them out. But for this round, I want you to tell me about either someone who's inspired your sound, maybe from the past, someone who's inspiring your sound right now, perhaps, or you just want to give shout outs. You just want to say, y'all need to check out this person, and 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 this person. And then hopefully we can drop it in the description for folks to click on. So I'm gonna let you take that information, either someone who's inspired you or someone who inspires you right now, or just shout outs because you're made of stars, because you're a constellation, of course. So I'm gonna start us off. Cassidy, you're smiling over there. So, you know, who are you made of? Who are the stars that have inspired you?
I'm just always wearing a nervous smile, really.
Ugh.
It's my default. All right, well, there's musicians and non-musicians. Right now, okay, quick 3 people that I'm listening to a lot. Phoebe Bridgers, Julia Jacqueline, Sharon Van Etten, and Lucy Dacus. Just like a handful of female songwriters who I really think do just an incredible job of blending the extremely personal with the universal. Like, I always am just so impressed when there are lines that are so extremely personal that I can't relate to necessarily the actual thing that they're talking about, but it just hits me so hard in the chest. And they find these beautiful ways, like all 4 of these artists are incredible poets and have these beautiful ways of weaving in these universal messages that hit really hard. So yeah, listening to a lot of them lately, among many other artists. I won't even try to list them all. And then, do you guys know who Brene Brown is?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yes.
Tess does? Yeah, yes, you do. All right. Well, Brene Brown, she's incredible. She's an author. She's a research professor at the University of Houston. She's a social worker, and she studies shame and vulnerability. She got really famous from a TED Talk that she did on the power of vulnerability, and now she has written a ton of books, and she has a podcast called Unlocking Us and another one called Dare to Lead. And she recently put out a book called Atlas of the Heart, and it's pretty much a map of all the different human emotions through all of these different studies and how to identify them better, which ones are kind of clumped together, and how we can communicate them and define them so that we have just a much more specific and diverse language when it comes to our emotion and how much that helps us. So it's like kind of like the perfect source of information for both my songwriting and the other work that I'm doing, and really helps me kind of blend both worlds. And she just conducts the most amazing interviews. She's so vulnerable herself and shares so many personal stories, and has a lot of humility. So if you don't know who Brene Brown is, I recommend checking her out on all those different platforms. But yeah, she's been a huge inspiration, especially the last couple of years.
I love those shout outs. I usually have her book around. I'm not home right now, but I've been like, daring to lead, daring to lead, yeah. So
Daring Greatly, that one, or
daring greatly. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
Daring to lead podcast. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, Dare to Lead is one of her podcasts.
Yeah, I didn't know she had a podcast. So,
and she interviews tons of musicians and songwriters on her podcast as well. So there's some incredible episodes on there. There's there's like one Brandy Carlisle one on there that I really love. A handful of other really great musician and different artist podcast episodes that I recommend.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. Brene Brown and a lot of different artists. I might hit you up on the spelling of these names, because I'm very bad at spelling names.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But we're gonna switch it up. Go to Tess. Who are you made of? Who are the stars that inspired you or inspire you, or the shout outs?
I mean, I have lots of like early influences when I first started music, but I feel like I say that list every single time that I am interviewed by somebody. So I'm going to go with like currently who I listen to a lot. Right now, my favorite band is a band from the UK called Nothing But Thieves. The Connor Mason, the lead vocalist, is absolutely unreal. They're an alt rock band, but it's been super fun just kind of watching their journey the last year and a bit. Like I've seen them in Vancouver twice. The first time I saw them was at the Imperial, and it was like a 200 person show. Best concert I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. The next time I saw them a couple months later was at the Vogue, so grew.
Okay.
But just a couple months ago they sold out the O2 Arena in London, and it was like I saw them in a 200 person little venue. My parents live in the UK, so they were at the O2 show because my mom's a big fan too. And just apparently Connor Mason, the lead vocalist, was so overwhelmed by the experience of it that he had to take a break in the middle of the set because he was like sobbing because it was so overwhelming, just how their boom of growth. And I love they have no idea who I am. I met like some of the band members behind the Vogue, passing them in the alley, but like just seeing someone you admire just grow like that, so cool.
I love that. Like my heart melted when you said that. I was like, yes, I can only imagine from the Imperial.
Yeah, their music is phenomenal.
I'm gonna check them out. I have a lot of music to listen to. I like it. I like this homework. I wish that was the homework they gave us in high school, but that's a different question. Patrick, I'm curious, who are you listening to, or who should we check out?
I admittingly have not added that much new music to my repertoire, like to my listening. I kind of stick with the same, and I listen to a lot of 90s rock. I just love that. Was like my formative music years. I really love that stuff, especially. But when I say a lot, it's more like 5 to 10 albums over and over and over, the same ones. But in terms of, I got into music with the kind of late, like in my mid 20s, I started learning how to play guitar just because I wanted to play Bob Dylan songs around the campfire. That was the only reason I ever wanted to start. And I just started on the guitar that was sitting around my house that my dad wasn't using because he never really learned how to. We bought him this guitar and he never really picked it up. So, and then when I got introduced to Bob Dylan, it just getting introduced to that kind of storytelling and that type of lyricism, and I felt like it was a really good, I don't know, it just kind of woke something up in me that I'd always kind of maybe played around with, like in my head, just with rhyming and with, lyrics, but that really kind of kicked me in the butt. And that was 15 or more than 15 years ago. And then honestly, my favorite album to this day, at least it has been since I've listened to it, was I was up at this little festival in Wells, BC, called the Arts Wells Festival. And some friends of mine had just got off stage. And the next artist, who I'd never heard of at the time, was a guy named Craig Cardiff. And he's from Ontario. And he played a bunch of songs that I was just like instantly a fan of his. Like no questions asked, instantly. I went to the merch booth and I bought an album. It's called Love is Louder. And when he recorded this album, he did like a bunch of the songs with a full band, and then he did the same songs, or most of them, just as not full, but like it's like a trio or even a quartet, but it's a lot more acoustic and some just strings, and it seems live off the floor. And I purchased that album, like the live off the floor, the chilled out version, and it's my absolute favorite album to listen to since I bought it. Nothing comes close, but it's just my favorite. So Craig Cardiff, Love is Louder. If you do download it on like a streaming service, it puts all the songs in order, and all the band songs are up front, and the kind of acoustic-y, I just love them, are like number 9 through 18 or something like that. And it's I love it. It's such a great rhythm. He's a great songwriter. He's got a beautiful, beautiful voice. And just really nice arrangements, really open, but at the same time really interesting. Kind of like that Dan Mangan album, Nice, Very Nice.
Yeah.
Like that was so influential for me, that album.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear this music. I think that's why I love these interviews, because I get to meet different people, different genres. I know People assume I only listen to this one genre, and I'm like, I just love music for what it is, what it brings, what it makes you feel like. I hope to interview, actually, I was supposed to interview Dan in the summer, and life happened for me. But who knows? Maybe one day you'll get to see a Missy D Interviews Dan Mangan. And
Cool.
I'm super excited to listen to Craig, sorry. Love is here. Last round to kind of end our night. I know we're over time. Hopefully you don't have an urgent appointment to go to, but if you do, let me know. Put your hand up and I will cut the recording. But if you don't, I have one last question. I sang a bunch of songs from all these wonderful singers and artists. And then this afternoon, I came across this video, and I think it was someone in their younger years at the beginning of the video. And that younger self said, life isn't always what you want it to be. So be happy and thankful for your family. This was the lyrics or the words of a very young, I want to say maybe age 6, maybe younger, of Cassidy Waring. So my last round is called To My Younger Self. And it's a message to your younger self. And I always joke around, your younger self could be 2 minutes ago. It could be 2 years ago. It could be 20 years ago. It could be high school Patrick Spencer 1999. It could be 2009 on the piano. And I miss you. Or it could be 2019 writing those first solo songs without the band Cassidy. So what would you tell that younger self? Or if you're like, I don't want to talk to my younger self right now, but I want to talk to the people watching, what would you tell them? So I'm going to go in order of my screen here. Cassidy Waring, what would you tell your younger self?
I think if I was talking to, I'm in my early 30s now, and I think if I was talking to myself in my early 20s, which was not too long after just a lot of trauma in my life, losing my mom, a lot of family hardship, and personal hardship, I think I would tell myself that I won't always have to carry the weight of my childhood trauma, and that I won't always have to be living in fear, living in my stress response, and that there are ways to work through it. Because I think sometimes, at least for me, when I was in that place, it just kind of felt like that's how life was now. And it doesn't have to be. We can work through things. I think I'd tell myself that.
That's a powerful message. I appreciate you sharing that. I'm often inspired by these conversations, so I thank you greatly for sharing that message, because maybe I needed to hear it today. Patrick, what would you tell your younger self?
Honestly, when you said that, I'm like, yep, that's more important to tell my younger self, because that's something, no, I'm serious. That is something I think about every day, and it's something I struggle with still. I'm afraid often to take on big projects because I look at what's involved in accomplishing that project, and for some reason I feel like I have to deal with it all at once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm gonna fuck that up. And I'm like, or I'm not gonna do a good job. So I'll avoid it. And if I could be better, or if I could start that mantra to myself at a younger age, just like, don't worry, everything happens one day at a time, and you can always figure that out. You can always figure out one day, no matter how difficult it is. And one day at a time. It's never going to happen faster than that. So don't worry. And the second thing I would say to my grade 6 self, stay in band, you idiot, because you can read music already, and keep playing the trumpet, even though you don't really like it. Just keep doing it, because one day music's going to be very important to you. You don't realize it now. And then when your older self's going to be mad at you because your older self won't remember how to read music.
I tell myself that every day, Patrick. I'm like,
yeah.
Why did I stop doing music in grade 9? I don't.
Stupid.
But
anyways.
Okay. I appreciate y'all so much. Tess, I'm curious to know, what would you tell your younger self?
There's a lot of things. Guess right now is that usually when things don't work out the way you want them to, it's because something better is around the corner. And that in the moment you can never see that until, a year later you look back and all of a sudden the thing you really wanted to happen that didn't happen makes sense. Sometimes you just need to wait and you'll understand why things didn't happen the way you wanted them to.
Good call.
Yeah. I'm like, it's very overwhelming to hear all your messages and you're like, do y'all know what's in the back of my head right now? I'm thinking about, and all these messages are like, yo, you should have stayed in grade 9. I'm like, listen, I should have. I have band practice after this. And I'm like, I have my moments where I'm like, I don't know my music theory as I should, or really digging deep and being like, hey, you don't have to think about all these steps that have brought you where you are, but also taking it one day at a time. Or, understanding that maybe that no is for a reason, because it's gonna bring in the yes that you actually need and want, more than you think. That concludes a little bit of our Missy D Interviews Constellation number 2. I want to thank you for your time. I know we went a bit over here. For folks watching Missy D Interviews Constellation, Cassidy Waring, Patrick Spencer from Coldwater Road, Tess Anderson, you met these stellar folks who will be, I want to say, blessing, illuminating, doing some wonderful things on April 13 at Guilt & Co, 7 p.m. Make sure to check them out. I'll put the link in here. Tap on it. Go read about Brene Brown. Go do something that you want to do today for yourself. And to end the episode, I like to play a little music. So this is random. This is unbiased. I was just like trying to think of Constellation, and then I came across this song called Rocket Ship by Coldwater Road. So I close out the evening with a little rocket ship to our ears, just for the. I want to thank you all. Take care of yourselves. Have a beautiful night. Patrick Spencer, Tess Anderson, April 13th, Guilt & Co. Take care of yourselves. Looking forward to seeing you all perform.
Why don't you grab that green guitar and sit down here with